Hey, Les, I've got a good story for you.
Do share.
So, a while back when we were in the planning process for this fun little podcast we're doing, I was at a football party at a friend's house speaking with our mutual friend, Alana. And she is a lot like me. She loves the same books I do. And just personality wise, she's my personality doppelganger, if you will. And so I was telling her about the podcast and she got really excited. And she goes, Oh my gosh, I forgot to tell you. I was at my mom's house in Tuscaloosa recently and I was cleaning out her attic or something. She was helping her clean out her mom's attic or basement or some room in the house. And she came across like two steamer trunks full of novels. And so she looks at her mom and she's like, Mom, what is the point of this? Like, why do we have all these books? Her mom's response was, Well, I can't sell these books at the church, bazaar. And Alana was like, oh, okay. But you could sell them or not sell them, but donate them to the library or something, right? And her mother literally grabs her pearls and says, The church ladies work at the library. And so, as she's telling me this story about the horror on her mother's face and the shame in her mother's eyes from her, what apparently were dirty books, I couldn't help but think, wow, we need to make one of these episodes a tribute to the Harlequin romance novel, a tribute to the smut of our mothers and grandmothers, the original hide the books under the covers, covers with the guys on the front with their nipples showing
Hmm.
and the basis for many a joke throughout time, I feel like.
Absolutely.
So, with that being said, I think it's time that we pay tribute to the books that have started what I think we can both agree on as a huge pop culture phenomenon.
Absolutely. Let's do it.
Welcome to Pickle Party, where Romantasy gets a little naughty. Join the bride, it's book club time. Tropes and memes and feeling oh my.
So,
Right.
welcome back to the Pickle Party. If you're here, you've been enjoying Leslie and I yapping at each other, and we're happy to have you. So, thanks for coming back. And today, we are really excited about this episode. We have
Yes.
prepared by reading a Harlequin novel of our own because neither Leslie nor I had read one. Man, did we learn some interesting things about these novels with this
Exactly.
script.
Well, I haven't read one, but I had heard one. So, funny story. When I was working in Tacoma, this little lady with dementia would sit in the hallway
I
with a
remember her.
smut
Yeah,
book
you told me about her.
and read it out loud. So, I've heard one.
We'd like do a afternoon reading to everybody. I just want to thank Gladys for
We'll
that
call her
awesome
Gladys
story
for
time.
namesake since a HIPAA, but yes.
No, yeah, no, obviously that's not really her name. I just gave her randomly for the record. That's not actually her. We're just gonna call her Gladys because I feel like that
Yeah.
fits.
And she had no shame in reading it aloud. I mean, just page for page.
No, I love it. I love it. Own that shit.
I'm going to do
Like
that when
what
I go to the nursing home. I'm read A Court of Thorns and Roses, like chapter 55, as loud as possible.
I mean, listen, you read it, I'll do a dramatic reenactment on the side while you're reading it.
Oh, our nursing home's going to be lit.
Do you think Matt and Ed will opt to stay at a different one?
Yeah, they'll try to escape like every day.
Yeah, they would. Can I tell you, the boys are super into Hey Arnold right now, and I forgot how awesome his grandma is. Like, what a nut job she is.
She
And she
is.
is absolutely my favorite character now. Like in the Hey Arnold movie, she keeps trying to break out of jail, and she was only supposed to be on hold for like a couple hours, but because she keeps trying to break out, they keep her. I love her a little bit. I want to be like her.
Right? I've taken notes for years working with seniors.
I imagine. I can only imagine. Okay, so as we said in our intro today, we are paying tribute to the Harlequin romance novel, The Smut of Our Mothers and Grandmothers. And basically why this matters is so much is there is definitely a little bit of an influence on the books that we love today that are from these books. I think these
Right.
books normalized. I mean, the early romance novels took a deep dive, and I want to thank Leslie's husband Matt because he recommended that we do a dive into the history of the romance novel and the Harlequin, and I actually had a good time with this. So, there's actually a very big difference between the Harlequin and the romance novel.
Let's go.
All right. So I think we all have been walking down the aisles of the grocery store, right? You see
Hmm.
those ridiculous books, like you said, with Fabio on the cover.
Hmm.
And they have titles like Prisoner of Desire or Mother, May I Sleep with Danger? And you roll your eyes and you think, the first question I think we needed to ask when diving into this episode was what are the differences between a romance novel, like
Hmm.
what we love and talk about, the ACOTAR, the Lisa Kleypas, the Bridgertons, that versus a Harlequin novel. Okay. And there are 5 key differences. So it turns out when discussing the difference between the romance novel and the Harlequin novel, there are 5 key differences to look at: the format and length, a
Mm-hmm.
predictable premise, formulaic structure, their availability, and the publishing schedule. So basically, when it comes to the format and the length, the Harlequin novels are typically shorter, which I definitely saw with the novel I had.
Yeah, they're pretty quick reads.
They're very quick reads where they range from about 50,000 to 75,000 words. And that's 280 pages typically at the most. That's a small book. That's a novella in my mind.
I mean, like the Court of Thorns and Roses, like sweet, like swallows that.
Oh, yeah. No, a standard single title romance novel can be usually over 100,000 words. Obviously, right there with the length, you're not going to have the character development in Harlequin novel. You're not going to have the availability for plot twists and side character development, and which is obviously going to not allow for sequels or continuing the story. They're very wham bam, thank you ma'am, done stories. There's not add on to that specific storyline. So that's one thing. There are predictable premises. Again, it's almost always a woman who,
It's like
and
a
this is
golden
a difference too with
retriever.
the romance novels. Yeah, it's like a helpless woman, or like in the case of the novel I read, dumb, just not somebody you admire. Like, I want to be Feyre.
Oh yeah.
I want to kick ass like Nesta. Like I
Or
want
Violet.
to, yeah, like I want to be shoved into the cauldron, giving the finger to the King of Hybern. Like I want to be a badass.
Right.
Or,
No, yeah.
have completely unearned confidence like Violet Sorrengail, who still manages to get out of shit.
Yeah.
I want that. And I have a friend who makes fun of me for reading these books, and she is wholly convinced that romance novel equals weak female character.
Yeah, no, there's
And
way different now.
no, and that's just the romantasy I'm talking about. Lisa Claypass's books are always the same way too. Like the female leads are very independent. They're not shallow.
Mhm.
They're not stupid. They don't necessarily need a man, but it kind of love finds them. Like, and I like that in a character. Yeah,
Yeah.
if these women were meek, feeble people, I wouldn't want to read that.
I wouldn't either.
And unfortunately, you find that a lot with the Harlequins, apparently.
Yeah, both of them that I read, they're both like that. I mean, I think
Yeah.
the second one I read, and now the second one I read was a newer one
Hmm.
because I kind of read an older one and a newer one. She was a little bit more independent, but it was like all the cards fell in the right way for her. And so
Right.
she had zero like things stopping her really. She just figured it out and she was amazing. Like at least
She lived a charmed life.
Yes.
Do you know what that reminds me of? You know, New Girl, Jess on New Girl?
Yes.
There's that episode. This is one of my favorite episodes, but when Nick is talking to her and he's like, I don't think you understand because you've always led a charmed life. And she's like, I don't know what you're talking about. And then it flashes back to the dude in the van that pulls up next to her.
Mhm.
And he's like, hey, little girl, do you like candy? And she's like, yeah. And he's like, awesome. My grandmother just bought a whole bunch, and like she gets all this free candy from like a nice old lady. And it just like, that's a charmed life.
Yeah.
Like that, because
That
if
was
that were
his book.
me, I would have been abducted. Right. Right. That's what that reminds me of. She was one of those people. Going on to the formulaic structure, like I said, they're tighter, shorter books. There's tighter formulas. It's fewer characters. It's no room for extra plot lines or fun side stories. And
No.
the side characters are already typically well established.
Mhm.
So they don't need depth in terms of like their lives.
Mhm.
Like the side characters in the book I read were like
You
already
don't
married.
even hear about them much. I mean, you hear like
No.
snippets of like this is so and so and this is her best friend. That's it.
Yeah, yeah. Basically, it's exactly like the main character, the sub characters were the best friend and her husband. Very few sub characters, so you can't really expand on that. And whereas you look at the books we read, and Lisa Kleypas has series upon series upon series and has amazing characters that are so deep and so fun.
Yeah.
She takes them to other worlds.
Yeah.
Like she takes them to other series, and I love it. I lose my mind anytime Westcliff or St. Vincent gets mentioned in another story because they're everywhere, and I fucking love these guys. They're amazing. You don't get that at
No.
all with the Harlequin, unfortunately. The availability, going back to what we talked about earlier,
Mhm.
grocery stores. So for some reason, I guess because the Harlequin was marketed towards housewives, I
Yeah.
think maybe even bored housewives. They were rampant in the supermarkets, and that was probably a
Well,
really good move for them because
yeah.
where does a woman spend most of her time? I live at the damn grocery store, whether it's a smaller one or a bigger one. If they have food that they sell there, I'm there at least once a day, because you can never get what you need all in one trip.
No.
I picked up groceries this morning before recording this, and you know what I forgot? Freaking Cascade.
Isn't the worst?
So annoying. Like I spent so much money on groceries this morning and I thought
Or
I had a set.
I have become such a like shopping snob that I do pick up orders. I don't actually go to the store unless I have to.
Who walks in a damn store if you have to?
I think anybody that's still a senior, but
Maybe. I think my parents had a really hard time with pickup at first. I think they were like, I don't trust you. I don't trust you with my groceries.
I hate that though. And you miss the window to where you can add items and you're like 10 minutes off. Oh, that pisses me off.
Yes, I hate when it's Ed. It's always Ed who's like, hey, did you add? And I'm like, son of a bitch. Where were you 30 minutes ago, butthead, when I said, hey, what else do we need? The window's closing. Yeah, so that happened to me today. So I totally get it. There's nothing more annoying than that. But as we were saying, so their marketing, that's brilliant marketing. Let's be honest. I have a theory actually that the Harlequin romance novel is really just the novel with a marketing plan because of the way they have this structured formula. I know when I was looking and trying to find a book to read, they had like a Harlequin romance novel of the month.
Yeah.
That they were releasing like bam, 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 bam. And I think that's when you get into the like generic writers and maybe even some ghost writers. I don't know.
Probably.
You know, I get it. I get it, dude. I get it. So there's that. And then the publishing schedule, like I said, bam, 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 constantly published. And so there's this widespread market with the way they're constantly producing. I guess you can get into economics with the like supply and demand flow charts and all that.
Mhm.
And you know what? We'll have Ed on to discuss that. I'm just kidding. I wouldn't do that to you guys. I'm sorry. I'm just kidding. He's not just an accountant. He's a super accountant. He's a CPA. He's like the bad boy of math.
Although he has to work on his addition skills.
Look. And hey, guys, fun story about Leslie. She's a math genius. She's been hiding that from me for years. Don't know where that came from. We recently got to see each other and we had a really, really, really fun time hanging out and combining the kiddos and everything. But we discovered that Ed, not that great at addition, and Leslie is little man Tate. So that was a fun discovery and maybe a fun story for later. So the modern romance novel or mass market romance novel, as we know it today, has its origins from romantic fiction in the 18th, 19th centuries. So, you know, you're thinking what I'm thinking, the Jane Eyres, the Charlotte, the Bronte sisters, which kind of appropriate to bring up right now, given Wuthering Heights coming back out.
Yeah.
Can I tell you the amount of people on my Facebook post who are like, that was the saddest freaking movie I've ever seen. And I'm like, so you didn't read Wuthering Heights in high school?
I did not.
So I did, and I hated it. It's not a happy love story. It's honestly not, they're not great people.
Like a happy love story.
It's the definition of a gothic romance, which apparently means you want to kill yourself at the end of reading it.
Great. I don't want to read it.
It's like when I tell people if you're going to read a Bronte sister novel, it's because in high school we had to read Jane Eyre. Like they made us.
I didn't even like Jane Eyre though when I read it.
See, but at least Jane Eyre's happy.
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, at least she ends up with the man, but in freaking, and I enjoyed reading Jane Eyre actually. I wanted to blow my brains out reading Wuthering Heights. That was awful.
Well, now I really don't want to read it.
I'm telling you, like, and I feel bad.
I love Margot Robbie though, so that's why I was like, well, maybe I'll read it.
Well, I mean, hello, I'll watch Jacob Elordi. Don't get me wrong. Like, if I have to sit and stare at that gorgeous face, I will. But I mean, you know, I'm just saying, Jacob Elordi, Austin Butler, like these little boys, like I'm starting to feel like a little cougar.
It's okay to be a cougar. Just accept it.
I kind of own it, actually. It's all good. Anyway, so those are the early, that's kind of where you really start to see the romance novels come through. And I am a Jane Austen fan.
Mm-hmm.
My first book boyfriend, I don't know how many of you guys can relate to this, Colonel Brendan from Sense and Sensibility. And before I had read the book, my mother at a very young age, she loves that movie, The Sense and Sensibility, written by Emma Thompson.
Yeah.
And Alan Arkin.
Mm-hmm.
Alan Rickman.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know why I said Alan Arkin. Very different people. So Alan Rickman is in it. And I have to say, when he died, everybody was like, oh no, Severus Snape. Oh no, Hans Gruber. And I was like, Colonel Brendan, anybody? No, because he was like my first love.
Right.
And turned out Mindy Kaling agreed. She made a post that was like, you guys all know him from this, but for me, it was Colonel Brendan. So shout out to Jane Austen and her amazing novels, because those are romance novels.
Yeah, I didn't have one novel, but I grew up, my mom always loved love story. with
Oh,
Ally
Ally
McGraw
McGraw.
and Ryan O'Neal. And
Yes.
oh my word, you fell in love with Ryan O'Neal and just like
Yeah.
super crush.
Yeah, Ryan O'Neal and Ally McGraw. That's a sad one.
Oh yeah, it really you
Doesn't
were
she
like
die in that?
yes, you were bawling at the end, but he
Oh, that's
loved
like
her
Steel
so much.
Magnolias.
Oh God, I love that movie.
Who doesn't love that
I
movie?
quote that movie so much, and I'm the older I get, the more I understand Weezer.
She is goals. I love that woman. And I love her relationship with the dude in it. Like the guy she ends up with. Love that movie. You can't truly be a Southern woman until you watch that movie, though.
It's so good.
It's such a good movie.
And then
Uh,
Dolly's part when the ladies dance, it looks like two pigs fighting underneath the blanket.
I haven't left the house without Lycra on these thighs since I was 15. And Olympia Dukakis says, it's because your mother raised you right. God. And those, you know what? And y'all, those women have not changed.
No.
So the books written by Jane Austen and the Bronte sisters, these books spoke to women at the time because they pictured strong female characters.
Yeah.
Like I said earlier, the difference between the books we like,
hmm
these books are the female characters. And even back in the day, and Jane Austen, she never married. She's a pretty independent woman for her time
Right.
anyways. So all of her characters were very free thinking, as independent as you could be for that
Mhm.
century. And it really spoke to the women who felt that they were tied down by social norms and really gained popularity
Yeah.
among these women. And then you moved into the 20th century where novels such as Georgette Hayers, I don't know if I'm saying that right, Georgian era romance, Black Moth, and Margaret Mitchell's Civil War era book, Gone with the Wind.
That was my
Um,
nana's favorite. She always wanted to be Scarlett O'Hara.
really? Scarlett's pretty awful.
She's like badass though, like independent, like I
She
don't need
becomes
you.
that way. See, okay, so I have a confession to make. I have seen the first half of Gone with the Wind like 3 times,
Oh my
when she's
God.
at her most obnoxious.
Yes.
And I guess it's the second half is when she kind of
Oh yeah.
becomes better.
Rhett
And I've
Butler like
never,
transforms her.
yeah, yeah. But I mean, she still plays Rhett. At the end, he's still like, fuck you, bitch.
Yeah. But she's still at the end like I'm independent. Fuck you. I can do it on my own.
I mean, I can't hate that. I have a feeling, though, from what I gather from the characters, they still get together and bump uglies. Like,
Oh,
it's
hell
not, yeah, it's not. They probably are the best sex the other ones ever had. So.
Right.
But these novels
Can you
revitalized
imagine the
the
makeup sex with that? Like seriously.
there are characters that you're like, your makeup sex is out of this world. Cassian and Nesta, for instance.
Right. They may not shoot lightning bolts, but they probably broke the bed frame.
Violet and Xaden. Yes, yes. Oh, y'all, I finally got into the Fourth Ring series and I'm ready to rate Xaden. I'll do it at the end of this episode.
Nice.
Okay, so Gone with the Wind, speaking of, because it, doesn't necessarily end with them together. So it's not actually classified as a romance novel, but the characters and the love stories were so prevalent
Right.
in it. It kind of is categorized as one now.
It is because I mean she was in love with her cousin, which was weird, but
Common at the time, though, I think.
yeah. And
Like
then
Gilmore Girls, when Lorelai finds out like her grandparents or her great grandparents were cousins, and she's like, "Are you kidding me?" And her mom is completely unfazed. She's like, "Well, of course, Lorelai." Lorelai's like, "No, that's weird." She's like, "I come from an inbred family."
so yeah, there's that where she's in love with her cousin, and then Rhett Butler comes and like he sweeps her off her feet, and then she finds who she is with Rhett, even though they're never gonna mesh. Sometimes they can be too similar. Sometimes their annoyances are too much for each other.
That's toxic energy, is what that is.
It is, but we love toxic men.
Okay, so Rhett Butler, what's his rating? I'm kind of curious.
I would say he's a 2.
Okay,
I wouldn't say
okay.
he's not morally gray. He's not doing anything like crazy.
He's just a dude who knows what he wants.
Yeah. But he could be a gambler. He can be, suave, but yeah, I don't see him as morally gray.
Interesting.
But he's
That could
definitely
be.
not a cinnamon roll.
She would have
She would have
any
eaten
dude
him
she
alive.
was with that was a cinnamon roll, she ate up and spit out. I mean, so let's.
That was her cousin because he was totally like just a wimp.
God, that's. Ugh. So in the 1950s and 60s, we saw a shift towards narratives involving exotic locations and heroines who had careers outside of being a housewife. So you started seeing stewardesses and nurses and teachers in your books. And in 1970, Gordon Merrick published the first best-selling gay romance, The Lord Won't Mind. In 1983, Gaywick by Vincent Verga became the first published gay gothic romance. So I'm guessing that means they don't end up together.
Probably not. It's going to be dark in the end. Someone died.
Yeah, gothic romance almost always means no happy ending. Homosexual romance novels have always existed, but they were just overshadowed by the success and the demand for the heteronormative narratives.
Hmm.
Understandable with time. I'm sure they're much more common now. And well, I mean, they talk about them in like the ACOTAR books. There's not like gay scenes, but there are gay couples.
Yeah, well, the one I just finished now, what is it? Blood Beneath the Snow, which is
Oh,
amazing,
yeah.
by the way. You should read that.
Yeah,
I
you were
can't
really
wait to
excited
read.
about that one.
I am. It was really good. So, the man she was, set to marry
Mhm.
and kind of forced to marry, he was gay, and that was the reason that they arranged the marriage, is because the family
She's
didn't
a
like
beard. Got
him.
it. I appreciate that because we are seeing that more. And I know we've seen it in the ACOTAR books. Helion will sleep with anybody.
Moore's a lesbian.
And Moore is a lesbian, but she's closeted because even though we
Well, she
see it in the books, it's kind of looked down on. So up until this point, mass-marketed romance novels featured very little sexually explicit material. Kathleen E. Woodywiss changed that and published in 1972 her work The Flame and the Flower, which introduced us to the bodice ripper.
Ooh, those are always
The
fun.
bodice ripper. You gotta admit those are hysterical to
They're
call somebody
hysterical.
like catch somebody reading a bodice ripper. But turns out these books were actually quite violent and depicted a lot of violence against women earlier, like women who were being, I guess, sexually assaulted but enjoying it.
Mm.
But they were obviously historical, but they always featured like that fierce virginal character. And like I said earlier, they depicted kind of violence and essay towards women.
Mhm.
But that kind of part ebbed out of them and they turned more into the mass market romance novel that we read now. And so that I thought that was interesting that they actually featured a lot of sexually graphic stuff
Mhm.
early on in the books, but then the handsome alpha male would, seduce and dominate them. They're a relic of the time, but they're a relic for their time. They're not quite what they were now, but they have made a very long-lasting impact
Yeah.
towards the stuff we read now.
Hmm.
Because there's definitely, it's an equal heated aggression, but there's definitely like an aggressive passion between Violet and Xaden
Yeah.
in the Fourth Wing novels.
Hmm.
Like it's consensual, but there's definitely like, I want to do you, but I kind of want to beat you while I'm doing you.
Well, if he wasn't so like secretive, she probably wouldn't be so like angry towards him.
I'm so annoyed with him right now.
Just wait.
I haven't even I'm at the end of Iron Flame. I haven't even gotten to Onyx Storm yet. So. Oh, Lord. Okay. So when these happened, then they made a pathway for the ones that we kind of grew up with our moms reading. And these are the Jackie Collins, the Nora Roberts, the Danielle Steeles.
Oh, God. Those are all over like senior centers.
Oh, yeah. Danielle Steele has got to be huge at the senior center. I don't know. My actual very first romance novel was a Danielle Steele novel.
Mhm.
And I was probably way too young to be reading it. I mean, compared to what I read now, it was tame as hell. But I think the only reason I read it was because they made a made-for-TV movie with it, about it, starring John Ritter.
Come and knock on the door.
Rest in peace, John Ritter.
Now I'm going to be singing that theme song in my head for the rest of the day.
Right? But can you imagine John Ritter as a male lead in a romance?
No.
The
Not
character
without Suzanne Summers like bouncing in at some point.
No, so I can't remember which one it was. Something about a heart, I want to say. Of course, Danielle Steele novel. But she's a woman who is married and accidentally gets pregnant. I guess she and her husband never wanted kids, but somehow accidentally gets pregnant. Like her birth control fails or something happens and she ends up pregnant. And well, the husband's like, listen, I don't want this baby. And she's like, well, you know what? I think I do. And so they break up and she meets a neighbor that just moved in, or as she moves into a new apartment, townhouse area, she meets this new guy and he like writes for a soap or something like that. And she kind of keeps her pregnancy secret at first, but then they fall in love while she's pregnant and he ends up being there. And it's just like a whole thing. But yeah, like Danielle Steele, my mom read quite a few Danielle Steeles when I was little. So this is also about the 50s and 60s was when we were introduced to the Harlequin novel. Mm-hmm. It was a division of HarperCollins, and it was founded in Winnipeg, Canada. I did not know that.
Canadians.
Yeah, they're Canadians. These are Canadian sexies. No wonder they're so nice. Over the years, they've become...
Oh, right there. Oh, yeah, right there. That's nice.
Trigger warning, we're going to have really bad Canadian accents moving from here on out. So if you're triggered by a Canadian accent, that's really bad. We apologize now. I mean, we're sorry.
Don't you know?
Don't be a hoser. Thank God. I'm pretty sure we don't have any Canadians listening right now. We'd be getting some mean letters. Okay. Over the years, they became known for their distinctive eye-catching covers, which usually featured the lovers caught in illicit embraces or otherwise dreamy images. So, the guys with their nipples showing and, maybe
his shirt's torn, like it's
yeah,
just ripped open. He
his
can't
shirt's
help
been
it.
torn open. He's been in a fight. Something's happened. She got super into it. I don't know. But his shirt is ripped. Her dress is hanging off.
Yeah.
And you can maybe see the top, the areola maybe.
Right.
On her.
Or
just
side boob,
Or a side boob, the curve. You get something. And there's definitely very like a stormy sea in the background.
Yes.
Or a flowery field.
Maybe Tamlin Gate there.
Yes. A little bit of Tamlin's Arc over there. From the 1960s, it grew into the largest publisher of romance fiction in the world. And that's where I go back to it had a marketing plan.
Yeah.
And I guess if you kind of like those wham bam thinky ma'am stories, that's perfect for you. You get a new story. You don't want to, I couldn't imagine not wanting to know more about a character.
Yeah, no, they were short, but I still got bored in some of it.
So bored. And I was in between. I was stupid because I read Fourth Wing, did my Harlequin, and then had Iron Flame ready to go. So, I mean, that was like 6 hours of a novel. That was misery for me.
The first one I read was pretty miserable.
So it grew into the largest publisher, and other publishers began producing steamy cover art in an effort to boost their sales. Italian-American model Fabio Lanzoni became a cover model for dozens of these romance novels and literally changed the face of the genre forever. I used to know somebody I used to know, and she had a family friend who was on a plane next to Fabio once.
Ooh.
And people kept coming up. And I think this was like in his heyday too. So people kept coming up and asking him for like his signature and stuff. And this person was an academic. He was like a professor or something at a college. So he had no clue who this guy was. So he finally looks over at Fabio and he's like, "Are you famous?" And Fabio looks him dead in the eye and goes, "But I am Fabio." Literally. And this guy was like, "Okay, and he was like, "I am Fabio. I'm model Fabio." Like he was super like, "How do you not know who I am?"
Yeah.
They end up becoming buddies on this plane ride. He gets home and a while later in the mail gets all this Fabio shit. Like calendars, books, all kinds of shit from Fabio in the mail.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Is that not hysterical?
That is hysterical. But the fact that he sent himself to him though.
I mean, could you imagine being that into yourself? Well, I mean, I kind of feel like I am right now pushing the podcast.
Also, to backtrack, I do love that they should enjoy a little bit of our singing as we go through here.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, guys. I've been singing all day. I've been in a very singy mood. I'm in a Linda Belcher mood today. So you're going to get a lot of singing.
Oh, I love her. That's okay.
Who doesn't love Linda Belcher?
Right. I was in a car dancing mood last week, or no, 2 weeks ago. Remember when I accidentally
Yes.
dialed
when you butt dialed me?
I finger dialed you because you're on my screen in my car. And so
as I should be.
I was turning it up as I was like jamming in my car, and your button's right next to the volume. So I clicked it as I was doing it quickly. And then I was like, oh shit, I'm calling Jules. And.
But you know what? I do that too. And it's gotten to be when we do that to each other, all we do is text each other butt dial. And the other one says, yep. So we've got a system. The 1980s saw the entrance of the romantic fantasy world, or romantasy, as we lovingly call it. Emma Bull's War for the Oaks. And I can't help but wonder if maybe this was what Alana's mom had. Mm-hmm. But The War for the Oaks, published in 1987, follows a woman who is drafted into a war between fairies and ends up falling in love with the same person who put her in danger. Sounds familiar.
See, if we ever get to interview Sarah J. Maas, Rebecca Yaros, please come on our show. We would like to ask you if you base this off of these novels.
Yes, I'm very curious
about D&D.
Or if they've watched or read it at all or anything. Yeah. I'm kind of curious. Maybe we should read it and talk about it. But it's the first known romantasy. It might be appropriate. As you guys know, by the mid-2000s, romantasy has blown up. Romance novels really blew up. About 2010, I would say. And, 50 Shades and Twilight. Twilight, of course, being the young adult version. Mm-hmm. But, you bring in 50 Shades. 50 Shades was my first real romance series.
I got to finish that series. I didn't even read Twilight, though. I'm sorry.
Well, see, and that's where I'm useful because I read both of those.
Your face, though, was like, what?
I just, because we've been such good friends, and I know when I was at the height of my Twilight thing, we were both in Mobile.
Yeah.
That's why I'm like, you didn't? Oh, you were probably ignoring me every time I was like, you need to read these. So, I loved them for what they were at the time. I don't think I could read them now. Same with 50 Shades. I don't know if I could read them now. I love them for what they were at the time.
Yeah.
They taught me how to read dirty books in public with a straight face.
Oh yeah, man. That's an art to go through
It
a
is.
store and as like the two main characters are just getting it on, not, poker face.
No, and I mean, they're not just getting it on. It's like intense.
Yeah.
And also a
We're
little
breaking
unrealistic.
furniture. We're like having all kinds of different positions.
Yeah, well, and I also feel like the 50 Shades books, the sex scenes were just a little unrealistic. Like for the first time, no girl giving a blowjob the first time is good.
No.
Nobody is good at it the first time. And she was just apparently magic. And I don't believe that. Like there are just things that are hard to believe in those books. But after that, then we started seeing the Romantasy phase by the I would say 2015 with ACOTAR, Fourth Wing, these Quicksilver, all that. That's coming out. And it's kind of just blown up. And as you know, TikTok has helped blow it up. Book Talk has been huge for it. There's Mom Talk, there's Book Talk. Mom Talk for the dancers who want to influence, Book Talk for those of us who want to read.
Right.
One of the things that I wanted to answer while doing this situation was Marquis de Sade. Like, was he considered a romance writer? Because I think a lot of people may be listening and they're like, she didn't even mention the Marquis. He is not considered a romance writer. He was a 18th century French author, philosopher, and nobleman notorious for creating libertine, pornographic, and violent works that explored sadism, rebellion against authority, and extreme hedonism. His literature served as a dark critique for the morality rather than a romantic narrative. So while it did feature really steamy stuff, that wasn't the point, and it was very aggressive and violent, so it was not considered romance.
Wow.
I thought that was
some people might like that though. There's some that get into that.
I was trying to think I guess like the original bodice rippers and stuff, but I think his stuff was a little more deep than that though.
Right.
I think his was more of like a public commentary, trying to serve as like a commentary for reaction.
Right.
So I thought that was interesting. Again, I really enjoyed actually doing the research on that. I learned a lot that I didn't know already. So I thought that was fun. If anybody is wondering what my sources were, and I feel like I've got to cite my source because I used a blog off the New York Public Library. I think it was written by a student, whether library sciences or an English lit student, grad student. And the Wikipedia pages for the Harlequin books and romantasy, romantic fantasy. I got a lot of really great info off those pages. So if anybody else wants to take a quick deep dive, those are my sources, or hit me up and I'll be happy to give you my sources. So with that being said, Les and I had to do our own research in terms of reading a Harlequin because neither of us had done it at this point. So Les, I'm going to let you go first because my book was absolutely absurd. So I'm going to let you go first.
So I'll start with the newer one. So it was Sleepless in Manhattan by Sarah Morgan.
Okay, that's original.
Yeah. So is this girl that got fired from her job, and all her best friends that worked with her got fired from her job. And then she said, I live in New York and I'm going to make my own business. And her brother was like, that's a great idea. And then her brother's best friend, which had like snubbed her before in high school, like she always had a crush on him, but he didn't.
Don't they always?
But the thing is, so the brother had made a pact with him, like, if you touch my sister, I'm going to fucking kill you. And so.
Fair.
But she didn't.
I feel like that probably happens a lot with real life siblings.
Yeah.
Like, bro, any chick but her.
The best friend isn't some like big to-do person in New York. And so he has her be the event planner for some big gala he does. And she makes a name for herself. So number one, New York is like this backstage character that just hangs out. Like, because how the fuck are you, living in New York with no job? Hope that your business is just going to take off and only one event you're really working on other than like making a cake for some old lady. That was the only other thing that was really mentioned.
So super realistic goals for people to follow.
Yes. So they get through this whole thing and she makes it a name for herself. And these people at this gala were like, oh, she's so amazing. I love her work as an event planner and I'm going to use her every day. And her best friends that are with her that apparently are all making a salary with her and somehow living in New York all get to be in business and have this amazing event planning business that just takes over. And the brother's best friend ends up like, they get together, like they end up sleeping together. And then the brother finds out and he's like, how dare you? And so they're like, oh, we can't.
Oh, no, that just makes it hotter.
And then she's like, I can't be around him. He just doesn't want me. And then he comes back as they're having like the best friends and her brother are having a movie night. He walks in. He's like, can I come in? And she's like, you're not gonna like it. We're watching a romance or romance movie. And he's like, it's okay.
Oh my.
And then it ends. And then it's happily ever after. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. She's like a fucking golden retriever. Both of my female main characters were fucking golden retrievers that are just like, she lives this charm life that everything wonderful happens for her and fucking rainbows come out of nowhere.
I mean, I guess if you're reading for an escape, you don't want to, deal with reality, then
there you go. I got bored with it because it was just like everything was so wonderful and working out for her. She never went through like I don't know. I mean, like occasionally she'd be like, I can't do this. And the brother's like, yes, you can. You can do anything.
God, that's something. So, all right. So on a scale of, or on your depravity, go into your depravity scale.
Yeah.
Rate them. Rate this male character.
This character was a cinnamon roll or slightly spicy. There were like minor red flags, and it was mainly because like he didn't want to break up his best friend and his relationship, but he did like love her and wanted the best for her. So he was like out there trying to make a name for her, but he was like secretly hiding his feelings so she could, get her name out and not like have a troublesome relationship with her brother. Whatever. It was terrible. Terrible. But if you guys want to read it,
you're really making a case for it. I don't. You're going to be beating down the bookstore door for that one.
And then the second one I read, hang on, I have notes on this one because this one was the worst one. So it was Taken by the Highest Bidder. Starts out as like Valerie Bertinelli, Lifetime movie, turns to Hallmark fluff, then ends with the most ridiculous ending you could possibly think that what a female would want to make her feel whole.
So like house with a white picket fence.
Oh, just wait. So it starts out in the beginning. She is sold in a gambling ring. The guy that she's married to.
I need a time frame. What year is this?
I don't know. I don't know what decade we're looking. I'm guessing.
Like when you say sold, do you mean like dowry or
no.
Like
so it's
you need to call Keith Morrison and get Dateline on the phone because this is sex trafficking.
Probably like 70s or 80s, I would think.
Sex trafficking. Okay.
So he's in this. He's a gambler addicted to gambling, and he ends up instead of gambling.
So indecent proposing, basically the indecent proposal situation.
So instead of gambling,
how about a night with my wife?
Instead of gambling off his daughter, he gambled off his wife. So this,
because he's a gentleman.
Yeah, and so this guy comes to pick her up, and he's like, "You're mine now. I won you." And he is from Monte Carlo.
Oh dear. Did they have really bad accents?
Yes.
Okay, mine did too. Go on. Harlequin, listen, the history was interesting. I think that's where it stops for me with Harlequin.
So he comes and takes her, but she's like, I can't leave without my daughter, even though she's not really my daughter, but I've always taken care of her. And I used to be the babysitter. Then I married her father. And so she's my daughter. I have to take her with me.
Wait. So the guy who gambled her away gambled not only his wife, but the nanny away?
Well, she was the nanny. Then she married him, which come to find out later in the book, he never even married her. It was fake. He actually had another wife in another town.
Oh, this just gets better and better. See, now, can I say there's a little bit more plot to this than one would expect with a Harlequin? There's a few twists.
This is an older one. And so you have this going on. So he's like, fine, take the daughter. She can come with us. But he's like, I'm going to send her to boarding school. I don't want her with us, And she's like, I've never. And like, she was married like before this other guy too, but he like died in a horrific accident and like some car accident. So she's like a virgin still. She never had sex with the.
So she is a widowed virgin mother.
Twice. So, we're not done yet. There's more.
How was she married but still a virgin? Did he die on the way from the wedding to the honeymoon?
I guess so. It didn't really go into depth of that. And then she never had sex with the gambler. He was always out gambling and getting drunk. And so, but she was the nanny prior. So she takes the daughter. Come to find out the daughter. So the daughter that was with the gambler, his wife that died actually had sex with the Monte Carlo guy, and that was his real daughter.
Oh, spicy.
So come to find out, like the daughter was where she was supposed to be. This girl makes his like change his mind. Don't send her to boarding school. She's such a good person. Like I want her here with me. So he doesn't send the daughter to boarding school, and he ends up loving her. And okay, so we get further into the story that they're living happily, and you think, oh, okay, we're wrapping this up. No, it's not done yet. And so
Oh dear, what happens now?
so now he's like a car racer. Like his
Yes,
and he's
the
in
Formula
like the
4. I know
Formula
what you're talking
4. He has like a driving school that teaches racing, and that's what he was doing, but he really like races on the side. And then she finds out that he's a racer, and she's like, "Oh my God, my first husband died in a car wreck, and I can't do this." And so
So she leaves him
she leaves him and the
because he's a
daughter.
racer.
Yeah, even though they do still split the daughter's custody, like she'll come over to him or her and then go back. And so he kind of does his own thing for a long time. And then she finally realizes, I love this man. So I'm going to go to his driving school and I'm going to learn how to race so I can be with him. And so she goes to this racing school and gets all the way almost to the end. And like he's in the middle of racing and like she's doing her test or something like that and like gets in his way. And so he stops the car and he's like, "Who are you? What are you doing?" And then he realizes that it's her. And he's like, "You did this for me? Oh my goodness. I've missed you so much."
Oh my God.
And then she's had sex with him at this point, by the way, too. So she's lost her virginity already. And they got married, too. And so then we move on towards the end. And he's like, "I know what's going to solve everything." He's like, "I'm going to take a year off from racing and I will be with you. And you know what's going to fix everything? We're going to have a baby. We'll have a baby together and everything will be fixed." And that was the end of the book.
Oh, wow. That was the first one you read?
Yes.
And you still opted to read another one? Because I'll tell you, like I said, mine was Misery. I finished that and I was like, never again.
Oh my God, it was terrible. It was terrible.
So bad.
I'm sorry, Jane Porter, that wrote Taken by the Highest Bidder. I mean, like you did do some plot twists, but that was, oh my God, to end it with a baby as how it's going to fix her life after she's been gambled away, not actually married.
Yeah.
Lost the first husband.
Therapy mentioned at all for her?
No, not at all. But
No,
a
of course
baby is going to fix it.
Oh, we
So I
got a
was like,
Tamlin. Tamlin alert. Y'all, this book. Okay, I struggled finding a book that I could try and swallow. And you can ask Leslie. I think I sent her
know,
3
you
different
sent me,
ones.
like multiple different ones. I was like,
So many
okay.
different ones. And I was like, this is it. This is the one I'm going to pick. And then I would start it, like, and I'd get maybe a page into it and I'd be like, nope, not happening. So I finally found one that I was like, all right, this is it. It was written in 2009, which surprised me. And it was a Harlequin Presents. So it was one of those that comes out like monthly.
Mhm.
Harlequin Presents Pleasure, Pregnancy, and a Proposition by Heidi Rice.
Ooh.
All right. So holy pen name, Batman. Heidi Rice. That's not a real name. Yeah. So we're going to start with that. That sounds a little too close to Heidi Fleiss for me. So that probably should have been my first hint. But the plot synopsis. Sexy millionaire aristocrat Luke Devereaux shows up at Louisa's office, marches her to a doctor, and demands that she takes a pregnancy test. Much to her complete shock and horror, it was positive.
Oh my.
Nearly 3 months before, Luke had shown Louisa a night that she would never forget and which would never be repeated.
That would
But
not
the dramatic-
pleasure.
But the dramatic consequences meant Luke was now demanding marriage. And his proposition came with a tantalizing promise: more nights of unbelievable pleasure. I knew this was going to be bad because within the first chapter, the word fist was used as a verb like 3 different times. Like this main male character, Jack Devereaux, could not just put his hand in his pocket. He fisted his pocket and he fisted it a lot. And I need to know because when you use the term
How do you fist your
fist,
pocket? I am trying to put my fist in my pocket right now and it's not easy.
I mean, if you're going to use the
Granted,
word
I'm sitting.
fist as a verb, I'm going to picture something aggressive.
Yeah.
And I need to know why he's shoving his hand so aggressively into his
Because he's
pocket.
a 2-year-old at heart throwing a tantrum.
I think so. So the book literally starts with the main character, Louisa DeMarco,
Mm-hmm.
high-flying, amazing journalist working for Blush magazine in
Ooh.
England.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, in London. A few months before, she had done an article featuring the most eligible bachelors in London, and one of them featured was Jack Devereaux. Well, Jack Devereaux doesn't like this. So he makes a whole plan to meet Louisa and tell her off. Well, he meets her at their multiple friends party. So Louisa's best friend's husband is friends with this guy. And they meet for the first time at a party at the friend's house.
Mm-hmm.
End up going home and having a one night stand. Now, this chick is so cringe. She's had sex before, but she's never orgasmed. And he gives her a night of endless pleasure.
Cue Celine!
Bring in Celine, everybody. Or no, even better, Anna Gasteyer being Celine Dion. 'Cause
Yes.
that's my favorite.
Yes, yes.
That's my favorite. So he gives her this night of unbelievable pleasure. About 2 minutes after having sex, she tells him she's falling in love with him. To which
Okay.
he's like, oh, you probably shouldn't because P.S., this sex was revenge for putting me in your magazine.
Okay.
And she's like, I don't understand. He's like, do you know how hounded I've been from being in your magazine as a handsome bachelor? How dare you?
Oh my. Did he fist his pocket at that point?
Probably. Maybe punched it in the air. I don't know. So she kicks him out and she's horrified and she swears she'll never see him again until 3 months later when he walks into her office and in the most Christian Grey of ways approaches her boss and is like, because he's also not just a handsome bachelor, he's also an aristocrat. He's
Of course he is.
a lord of some sort.
No.
And because of that, and he demands that she go away with him for the weekend or she take the rest of Friday and she's to take the rest of the day off. Her boss goes, okay. And is like, hey, Louisa, you're going with him. And she's like, no. And he goes, yeah, you are. Go. So she's forced to leave with him. And as soon as they get
By
in the
her
car,
boss?
yes. And as soon as they get in the car, he's like, we're going to the doctor. You're pregnant. Now, I would love to know what this is why I think Heidi Fleiss is a pen name and this was written by a dude
Mhm.
because no woman would not realize she was pregnant before a dude.
In 3 months.
And you haven't seen him since he impregnated you.
And you're probably puking at that point and exhausted.
So you're probably wondering, how does he know she's pregnant after a one night stand?
What is he like
Well,
sneaking in her house?
No, because apparently, and ladies, this is probably one of my favorite parts. Apparently, in this world, men gossip like women. And Jack's best friend, Louisa's best friend's husband,
Yeah.
was telling him all about how Louisa's been sick and she's doing this and doing that, and gave him enough hints that he thought she's pregnant.
What?
On a golf course, while golfing, these men have a conversation that's detailed enough about this woman. And I want you guys to think about all those memes where it's like a dude tells his wife, like, so-and-so broke up. And she's like, oh my God, what happened? He's like, I don't know. And she's like, are they going to be friends? He's like, I don't know. And she's like, but and he's like, I don't know. And she's like, why don't you ask questions? So you're going to tell me that kind of a guy has a detailed enough conversation on the golf course with his buddy that he walks away saying, bitch is pregnant.
What was she doing? Is she like puking on the side of the street? And
she just thought she had a tummy bug for 3 weeks.
months.
Or, well, no, like for over a month. She's had a stomach bug. She had a very light period. You know how sometimes at the beginning of pregnancies, you might have a
you should have
spotty
gone
period?
to the doctor if you had spent a month and you're puking.
She took a pregnancy test and it wasn't positive.
Man, she's got a bad one.
I think she took it like right after.
Okay.
Because and the condom broke. They knew the condom broke.
Okay.
He told her after the sex, by the way, the condom broke. And she was like, oh, well, it'll be okay. It's fine. It wasn't. So he takes her to the doctor and he makes her take this pregnancy test.
Yeah.
And she sure as shit. No, I think they even throw her on an ultrasound machine. She sure as shit is pregnant.
Mhm.
Okay. So then he's like, okay, now you're coming away with me to my country estate so we can talk about this for the weekend. And he takes her back to her place, makes her pack a bag.
Mm-hmm.
And takes her, starts taking her.
Mm-hmm.
And she gets all upset and has a panic attack halfway there. So she gets out of the car, is freaking out, and is like, I just want to take a train home. I want to be alone. I want to figure this out. And he's like, oh, you poor thing. Why don't you lay down in the back of my car and I'll wake you up when we get to the train station? She's like, you know what? That would be lovely. Bitch wakes up in his house the next day in his country estate. So he kidnaps her.
And she doesn't wake up, so he roofied her on top of that.
I wonder. I've been a little curious, or she was just that emotional and fragile and tired
That she
that
didn't feel getting on the train or into the house?
he was able to carry her all the way to her
Is
bedroom
he the
at his
fucking
house.
Hulk? Like, seriously.
I don't know. So then he decides, you're not just staying here for the weekend. I've called your boss and told him you have the week off.
Okay.
So he keeps getting super high-handed with her and super controlling. He wants to
Right.
control everything. Every time she's like, I want to leave, he's like, you're not going anywhere. It's like a huge turnoff. It's so
Right.
awful. He is a definition alpha hole.
Hmm.
He's the worst. And she's a dumbass.
Well, yeah.
He gets overhanded and aggressive with her, and it turns her on every time. And then they finally start having sex again.
Hmm.
She decides, yet again, after a couple days at his place, that she's in love with him. And when
Lovely.
she tells him that, he's like, oh, we're getting married, but it's not because I love you. We're just getting married because I will not have a bastard child.
Okay.
And she's like, okay, well, I don't think this is what we're going to do.
I feel like this is going to turn into a Goodbye Earl situation.
I want to leave. And we'll just figure this out. You can
Yeah.
co-parent, but we're not going to be
Yeah.
together. And he was like, no, we're going to talk about this. Go collect yourself and we'll talk about this later. And as he leaves, she packs her shit and runs off to the train station and escapes. She writes him a letter being like, no, 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 we're done. I'm done. I'll be in touch. Leaves, goes home, and a couple weeks later, I think she has a scare because she starts bleeding or something.
Oh, okay.
Or they were having a hard time finding like the heartbeat at an ultrasound appointment she didn't tell him about.
Yeah.
And of course, again, super gossipy best friend lets
Yeah.
him know that she's at the hospital getting another ultrasound because they couldn't find the heart rate on the baby. So he runs to her at the hospital. He finds her outside the hospital and they make up and all is well.
Is that the end of the book?
Yes.
I'm sorry that you had to read that.
That was 6 hours of my life I will never get back, Heidi Rice.
It was for the podcast.
It was for the podcast.
Our viewers will appreciate.
Y'all, these characters were so horrible. I'm pretty sure I had a what the fuck face during the the sex scenes. Because these were the two most unlikable people in the world that I was the opposite of turned on by their lovemaking. I was dried up like an arid desert. It was so bad. It was so bad, you guys. So 0 out of 10, would not recommend. In fact, I wrote Joel's rating, no, just no. That was my rating.
I don't think these are for us.
No, they're not. I could never see room for expansion with these characters. Like I said, they're already horrible characters. And I'm pretty sure because they do end up getting married at the end of the book. Like there's a little epilogue and they're married and she's like a lady of the manor and all this shit.
Mhm.
Even if I could see these two characters making it work or going on, it wouldn't be something that you would want to see. It would be so fucking toxic that it would be a modern day divorce and a War of the Roses.
Yeah.
Like these characters were so horrible. There's no way they're living a happily ever after. No.
I don't know how you made it through it. I would have put it down. And I am one that like I can't stand not to finish a book, but there's been a couple
It was hard.
that I'm like,
Now, y'all, could you imagine trying to get through that when you've got Iron Flame waiting for you, knowing how Fourth Wing ends? I want you guys to think about how Fourth Wing ends. Think about the big surprise Violet gets at the end of Fourth Wing, and it's literally the very end of the book.
Let's take a moment to appreciate Jules' suffering. There we go.
Thank you.
Moment of silence.
No, so earned. Because you think about that cliffhanger, and then I had to read 6 hours of this bullshit to get to Iron Flame. Just saying, no, Harlequins are not for me.
No, I can't.
I want to say, like, if we're going to compare who read the worst book, I think I did.
I think you did. Yeah.
And it was a true Harlequin Presents. Woo! It was rough. So 0 out of 10 would not recommend.
Love
All
it.
right, let's move on to Hot Pickle Cold Take. I figured this would be a fun topic to talk about. We already kind of talked about it, but with the movie's imminent release upon us, is Wuthering Heights a romance novel? We kind of already discussed that.
We did. So it being a gothic romance, like it's not gonna be happy, and now I don't want to read it, and I'm questioning if I want to see it. Thank you, Jules.
Yeah, sorry. No, it's a tragic ending. It's a tragic
It
ending.
looks dark though. You can see that in the previews.
You know what? I will say this. I appreciate when dark stories, when the cinematography is dark, because that's the whole point of the Wuthering Heights. It's a dark, Moorish, like that's part of the symbolism of the book.
Yeah.
is it sets you up like for overcast, icky, dark all the time and not
Right.
happy, sunny, blue skies.
No.
It's a goth romance. It's not a romance novel. I've never understood why it was considered one, to be honest with you. I mean, it's a gothic romance, and I don't consider gothic romance novels to be true romance novels. I feel
Right.
like they're more dramas. I don't.
Yeah.
I mean, is there a love story there? Sure, but somebody dies or they don't end up together because they're not great people. Either way, it's not a fun
No.
storyline to explore.
No. And you just end up crying at the end.
100%, 100%. I think I've seen this, and I think this is interesting that this movie is being promoted as the lovers of the jealousy trope. But is that false advertising because there's no happy outcome?
Kind of, in my opinion. If it's going to end sad, like that's.
Well,
I
so
mean,
then I have to know, is the jealousy trope, is it automatically going to set you up for a sad ending, though?
I wouldn't say so because there's been other jealousy tropes where, like, they end up. Some of the books, like, where they end up doing something shitty because they're jealous of the other.
Yeah.
But there still can be a happy ending. It's kind of normally a love triangle when there's a jealousy trope of some sort.
Yeah. Yeah. No, and so at some point they're going to end up happy, right?
Yeah.
Because there was a jealousy trope with like Twilight, and there's a small jealousy trope in ACOTAR.
Yeah, Tamlin's definitely jealous. Although he's more mortified, like scared of Reese, but that's okay.
Well, and Nesta. I think he's more scared of Nesta than Reese.
Yeah, Nesta will straight up like
Fuck him up.
Yeah. If they
Just
put
pointing at him.
if they put Elaine with Tamlin, Nesta's gonna like beat the fuck out of him
I
before
just don't see how that could ever happen.
I don't either.
I don't see that. God, I hope not. And honestly, is the beauty of this cast going to make the plotline more tolerable for audience?
It might, because you've got hot men, you've got hot women in it that are going to, make people go see it because of who they are, not because of what the storyline is.
I think that's drawing a lot of people. I think especially the younger folks who don't know the story.
Yeah.
They're going thinking they're going to watch this really romantic story, and I feel kind of bad for them.
Right.
Topic 2. Do you think Romantasy genre features examples of true female empowerment, or do you think they enforce misogyny and sexism?
I think you can do both.
Yeah. No, so a lot of the time these stories do uphold a patriarchy because they often tie a woman's strength and empowerment to her male lover.
Yeah.
Or to her traditionally masculine traits such as aggression, physical strength, stoicism. Katniss Everdeen.
Yeah.
She's badass.
She is.
Or even Violet. So much of Violet's strength.
Kat, I would say, is stronger than Violet, most definitely. And it's almost like she doesn't need the male character.
No, that's the difference. So like Katniss Everdeen, and of course that's just fantasy. That's not really a romance. The love story is a very minimal part of Hunger Games.
Yeah.
But Violet, so much of her strength comes from her bond to Taryn and to Xaden.
Yeah.
I think she has it in her to be badass.
Yeah.
And it was her badass strength on the inside that attracted Taryn to bond with her.
Mm-hmm.
And Taryn's her dragon, for those of you who don't know.
Yeah.
And he's not just a dragon. He's like one of the most powerful dragons.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's important for Violet. So it shows that she does have a strong character. But would she still be as strong if she wasn't tied to such strong males?
Maybe though, because, she's almost trying to show up her mother.
Yeah, she is a Sorrengail. I mean, let's be honest.
So she's rebelling almost against what her mother wants. And so she's doing it to say, I can do this, fuck you. So I think in a way she would still be strong, but I think Xaden makes her stronger because then she has that bond and that love attraction that's like making her want to try harder. And he's also training her all in the same thing of like, do this, be strong. And she's like,
no, he doesn't want, he wants her to be able to take care of herself when he's not there.
Right.
I do suppose there are, in the end, motivations for him to be that way, but he does fall in love with her.
Yeah, he does.
But yeah, he is motivated to keep her alive for other reasons at first.
True. But he doesn't, I don't think he knows how to be in a relationship.
I think he's afraid to be in a relationship. I think the only relationships he's ever known have been devastating for him. Like his mom. His mom wrote a contract, and the minute he hit 10, her ass up and dipped. She couldn't even stay for the love of her child.
Yeah.
How horrible was his dad? I have questions, and maybe they'll go into that in the next book. But interesting. Like, he's been let down by women in the past, and then her mom.
Yeah.
So he's going to already have a very hard time trusting women.
Right.
So I get it. That's his tragic backstory.
Well, yeah. Which makes her fall in love with him even more.
Right. Right. Or not Feyre. Violet is a sucker for punishment with that kind of stuff.
But then you have like Feyre that, was a badass from the beginning, like feeding her family, taking care of them. And then she turns into this like warrior, even though she can't read, and thanks for Reese for that. As Lucian's like sitting in the under the mountain going, "Oh fuck, I'm gonna die because she can't read."
Bitch can't read. Why didn't we teach her how to read? You kept giving her paints. We should have taught her how to read. Why did we think painting was more important than the ability to read and write?
So,
Right. She never faltered in her determination. Even like marriage was completely off the table before she fell for Reese. Like it wasn't off the table, or just marriage to Tamlin was off the
she can
table.
be frustrating though sometimes. I feel like sometimes she has no faults. She does, I know, but
Correct. No, I agree. I think she needs to be a little more flawed. Like Violet.
yeah.
Violet's a flawed character, and I like that about her.
And Nesta's flawed, Elaine's flawed. I feel like she almost can have a charmed life occasionally.
Yeah.
I mean, Tamlin takes her
I think you're
in,
right. I can't think of really any time that Feyre's not in the wrong or
loved
Feyre's
or
in the wrong.
wanted by somebody.
Yeah. Interesting. Because even before, I mean, at the beginning of the book, she had a lover in town
Yep.
before she left with Tamlin. Like she lost her maidenhead to him.
Yes.
Can I tell you? I'm never going to call it virginity again. I'm going to be like, do you give him your maidenhead?
Yeah.
Like anytime somebody has sex, I'm going to be like, maidenhead. Yeah. So again, thank you, Sarah J. Maas, for that fun piece.
Right.
So do you think the themes of feminism and misogyny maybe go hand in hand?
I think they can. I don't think they always do.
Okay. Like where you find one, you won't find the other necessarily.
Yeah.
Because I feel like anytime you have a super strong female character, you're going to have a dude trying to hold her down.
But not always. Sometimes it's family. Sometimes it's like societal norms that are holding her down. So it's not necessarily the main male character. Because ones I've read, there's been ones that, it's not the love that's necessarily holding her back. So I think it can be together and it can't.
Yeah. I mean, I get that. I can get that. I just feel like in the stuff I've read, a lot of it, there is kind of a hand in hand, like the way the men try to control Feyre and the horror at her being High Lady, like the way it's just such a shock to everybody when Reese is like the original feminist of like Corinthian, yes. So he's like the first feminist in the Corinthian area. Okay, and we kind of already talked about this too, but some people actually think that short, concise formula for the Harlequin novels, some people actually think that creates a better experience for the reader.
I think if you're trying to read something quick, it can. But I think you can really lose your followers because when you make it so short, you don't give any depth. You don't really have much of a story, and it's kind of it's like watching a Lifetime or a Hallmark movie. They're not all great. No, there's some funny ones that you can laugh about and you can watch, but there's a lot of terrible ones. So it's like 80% shit.
Can I tell you mine and Ed's favorite thing to do? This is how long we've been together, y'all. It'll be 20 years in August. We love true crime. If we watch a documentary on a murder or something, and I happen to know for a fact that there's a Lifetime original movie about it, he will demand to watch that Lifetime movie as soon as we're done with the documentary. Because he and I love nothing more than over-the-top ridiculousness.
Mystery Science Theater at 100%.
I don't know, Leslie. That sounds like a deep hole we'll dive down and we'll never come out. Like, we love nothing more than over-the-top, campy, stupid shit. The OC, we'll binge the OC like once every 10 years. It's so stupid and so ridiculous, and we can't get enough.
Yeah.
That is our, like, not-so-secret shame. We love stupid shows. 911, the 911 show with Angela Bassett. Oh, my God. The most ridiculous storylines. I can't get enough.
Yeah, well, I mean, like we have our ones that we go through that like you just have to make fun of, like Lost.
Like things that get a little ridiculous. You're like, okay, now it's just getting silly. Like those are the shows that start out with like really great, strong storylines and then just get stupid by the end.
And then you get to the very end of it and you're like, what the fuck was that?
It's like a dog's dream or something. Like, yeah, what the hell? I didn't even watch Lost and I knew that. I was like, well, I'm glad I'm not investing in that show. Okay. So it can, obviously, like, yeah, if you're looking for a small, fun thing, I want more out of my character. If I'm going to invest the time to get to know these people, I want to get to know these people. As we wrap up, guys, I know this has been a long one, but we had a lot to talk about, and it was, quite frankly, a lot of fun. Just some things to think about, like when you sit down to pick out your book, the differences as we gave you tonight, and you can pick it out from a Harlequin book to your romance novel. But what you're going to want to keep in mind is how invested you want to get in these characters and the plot lines. If you don't have much time, then this might be for you.
And then if you don't want depth, just read a quick smut novel.
Yeah, if you're just wanting depth and maybe some bumping uglies, that might be for you. I don't,
I
like I
can't do
said,
it.
the characters were so dissatisfying to me that the sex scenes weren't at
No.
all good when I read. So just putting that out there, I think that I am open. If any of you have a Harlequin novel that you think Leslie and I would enjoy, let us know.
Right?
We will walk it back on these, but as of right now, not our favorites.
No.
Not our favorites.
And also, if your mother had some hidden under their covers or
Yeah, does your mom have a
grandmother.
steamer trunk in her attic that she's afraid to sell at the church bazaar or donate to the library?
Such a fucking Southern thing. Like,
Listen, I was crying when Alana was telling me the story. I wish you could have seen her because I mean, she was like clutching her pearls and she was just like, I can't. They work at the library. So the
oh,
ladies at First United Methodist in Tuscaloosa, Alabama are shaking their head right now. They find out about Alana's mom's ogre porn. So DM us, comment, send us your takes. We're at Pickle Party Pod
and if you read one of
anywhere.
these horrible novels that we read, let us know what you
Yeah,
think.
and if you read one of the horrible ones we read, again, if you go looking for mine, I'm just going to tell you no. DM us, comment, send us your hot takes at Pickle Party Pod.
All right, so next time we meet, we're going to dive into A World of Court of Thorns and Roses, book one. So come join us, listen to our takes of all the crazy world that has sucked us into Romantasy.
Yes. Next time we're going to be going into, like as Leslie said, the ACOTAR series. We talk about it so much that we
Mhm.
figured it wouldn't hurt to break the series up for the people who listen and don't necessarily have time to read the books. So we're going to do a little plot breakdown and talk about some of the plot twists in the first book, how it made us feel the first time we read it, how we feel about it now having gone through the whole book series.
Yeah.
It should be a good time. Looking forward to having you guys with us. And as always, thank you guys for joining us.
So until next time, stay brined.
And remember, never judge a book by its cover, even if the guy on the front has his nipples showing.